In our ever-changing world of education, the term adaptive or assistive technology is used quite frequently, perhaps even too much. This, of course, begs the obvious question: what is adaptive or assistive technology? In order to answer this question, I will ask you an even more basic question. When you hear the word technology, what comes to mind? This is a question I have often posed in many technology classes. As expected, I get the typical answers, which include that technology is a computer, cell phone, laptop, and so on. These devices are all good examples of technology. However, does this truly define technology? Any device that advances your ability to carry out a practical task is technology. For example, a pen or pencil is considered technology as it enables us to carry out a task such as writing notes with greater ease. Even an ice cooler can be considered a form of technology as it allows us to transport food for a family when they go on a trip to an amusement park or the beach. Similarly, a keychain can also be considered a technology as it allows one to access and hold a set of keys with ease. Now that we have defined technology, let us attempt to define adaptive or assistive technology. So, a clinical definition of adaptive or assistive technology is as follows. It is an umbrella term that includes assistive, adaptive, and rehabilitative devices for people with disabilities, and also includes the process used in selecting, locating, and using them. Adaptive or assistive technology promotes greater independence by enabling people to perform tasks that they were formerly unable to accomplish or had great difficulty accomplishing by providing enhancements to or changing methods of interacting with the technology needed to accomplish such tasks. Let's attempt to break this down by analyzing what I just said. The first thing I said was assistive technology promotes greater independence. This idea of promoting greater independence is key to the idea of assistive technology. Now, this may sound simple enough. However, one must ask, how does this work? So, this takes us to the second part of the definition I previously stated, which is as follows: by enabling people to perform tasks that they were formerly unable to accomplish or had great difficulty accomplishing. This second phrase shows that assistive technology can assist people with minor and major disabilities. For example, a cane can assist someone who has some difficulties with walking, while someone who has more severe physical disabilities typically uses a wheelchair. At first glance, my example of the cane and wheelchair does not sound very technological. However, it is important to remember both technology and assistive technology is not limited to cell phones and computers. Rather, any device that assists us with achieving a task is considered technology. This is true of many other technologies that we take for granted. For example, few people realize that the classroom blackboard is one of the most revolutionary educational tools ever invented. It may be hard to fathom that blackboards as we know them today were unknown until relatively recent times. The invention of the blackboard, as you know, had an enormous impact on classroom efficiency. Due to their simplicity, effectiveness, economy, and ease of use, the simple blackboard and its cousin, the whiteboard, have substantial advantages over a number of more complex modern technologies. Even with the invention of the smartboard and its cousin, the interactive whiteboard, it is unlikely that they will ever become obsolete. Moving on, let us examine how our federal government defines assistive technology. So, Assistive technology devices and services were first defined in federal law in the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act of 1990, also known as Public Law 101-476. These definitions remained unchanged until 2004 with the passage of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Improvement Act, also known as Public Law 108-446, when an exemption to the definition of an assistive technology device was added to clarify a school system's responsibility to provide surgically implanted technologies such as cochlear implants. Assistive technology devices are identified in IDEA 2004 as any item, piece, or equipment or product system, whether acquired commercially off the shelf, modified, or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of children with disabilities. The term does not include a medical device that is surgically implanted or the replacement of such a device. Although the idea uses the term device, it is important to recognize that assistive technology devices required by students with disabilities include hardware and software as well as standalone devices. Almost any tool can be considered an assistive technology device except for those assistive technology devices that are surgically implanted and have been excluded from the definition of an assistive technology device as defined in IDEA. So, with that in mind, it should be noted that a range of assistive technology devices are available. Some are relatively low technology and inexpensive. For example, a pencil grip is an assistive technology device that may be used by a student with a physical disability to improve handwritten communication through increasing the student's grasp and control over his or her pencil. An adapted cup with enlarged handles may be used by a student who has difficulty holding a standard cup. Other devices are more high technology tools and are often more expensive. An example of high technology is an augmentative communication device in which a student types in messages on a communication display and they are spoken aloud. Assistive technology devices are available in a variety of categories to address functional capabilities of students with disabilities. These categories include, but are not limited to, academic and learning aids. Academic and learning aids involve electronic and non-electronic aids such as calculators, spell checkers, word processors, and computer-based software solutions that are used by students who have difficulty achieving in the educational curriculum. Aids for daily living. This involves self-help aids for use in activities such as eating, bathing, cooking, dressing, toileting, and home maintenance. Assistive listening devices and environmental aids. This includes electronic and non-electronic aids such as amplification devices, closed captioning systems, and environmental alert systems that assist students who are hard of hearing or deaf with accessing information that is typically presented through an auditory modality. Augmentative communication. This includes electronic and non-electronic devices and software solutions that provide a means for expressive and receptive communication for students with limited speech and language. Computer access and instruction. This includes input and output devices, alternative access aids, modified or alternative keyboards, switches, special software, and other devices and software solutions that enable students with disabilities to use the classroom computer. Environmental control. This involves electronic and non-electronic aids such as switches, environmental control units, and adapted appliances that are used by students with physical disabilities to increase their independence across all areas of the curriculum. Mobility aids. This involves electronic and non-electronic aids such as wheelchairs, walkers, scooters that are used to increase personal mobility. Pre-vocational and vocational aids. Electronic and non-electronic aids such as picture-based task analysis sheets, adapted knobs, and adapted timers and watches that are used to assist students in completing pre-vocational and vocational tasks. Recreation and leisure aids. Electronic and non-electronic aids such as adapted books, switch adapted toys, and leisure computer-based software applications that are used by students with disabilities to increase participation and independence in recreation and leisure activities. Visual aids. Visual aids include electronic and non-electronic aids such as magnifiers, talking calculators, braille writers, adapted tape players, screen reading software applications for the computer, and braille note-taking devices that assist students with visual impairments or blindness in accessing and producing information that is typically present in a visual print modality. As defined in IDEA, an assistive technology service is any service that directly assists a child with a disability in the selection, acquisition, and use of assistive technology device. This term includes A. The evaluation of the needs of a child with a disability, including a functional evaluation of the child in the child's customary environment. B. Purchasing, leasing, or otherwise providing for the acquisition of assistive technology devices by children with disabilities. C. Selecting, designing, fitting, customizing, adapting, applying, retaining, repairing, or replacing assistive technology devices. D. Coordinating the use of other therapies, interventions, services with assistive technology devices, such as those associated with existing education and rehabilitation plans and programs. E. Training or technical assistance for a child with a disability or, if appropriate, that child's family. F. Training or technical assistance for professionals, including individuals or rehabilitation services, employers, or other individuals who provide services to employ or are otherwise substantially involved in the major life functions of children with disabilities. Now that we have defined assistive technology, let us discuss Section 504 and ADA and delve a little deeper into IDEA. First, let's start off with IDEA. IDEA protects students who are defined as having a disability. However, there are other students who are not protected by IDEA. For example, a wheelchair-bound student is clearly disabled. However, IDEA does not protect the student. This is where Section 504 takes over. Section 504 forbids organizations and employers from excluding or denying individuals with disabilities an equal opportunity to receive program benefits and services. It defines the rights of individuals with disabilities to participate in and have access to program benefits and services. So, who is protected from discrimination? Section 504 protects qualified individuals with disabilities. Under this law, individuals with disabilities are defined as persons with a physical or mental impairment which substantially limits one or more major life activity. People who have a history of or who are regarded as having a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or major life activity are also covered. Major life activities include caring for oneself, walking, seeing, hearing, speaking, breathing, working, performing manual tasks, and learning. Some examples of impairments which may substantially limit major life activities, even with the help of medication, aids, or devices, are AIDS, alcoholism, blindness or visual impairment, cancer, deafness or hearing impairment, diabetes, drug addiction, heart disease, and mental illness. This is why local school systems will provide school services when children are hospitalized for an extended time both at the hospital and at their home. For example, a student with an illness who is too weak to come to school is entitled to homeschooling services through the local district. Similarly, a pregnant student or student with a physical disability can take adaptive physical education, a course in which students complete a research project related to physical education. So, to sum up, IDEA covers student services and rights for students defined as having a disability, as defined by IDEA, while Section 504 protects a broader range of students who have disabilities from discrimination, including students not covered by IDEA. This takes us to our next topic, American with Disabilities Act, also known as ADA. The American with Disabilities Act of 1990 prohibits discrimination and ensures equal opportunities for persons with disabilities in employment, state and local government services, public accommodations, commercial facilities, and transportation. It also mandates the establishment of telephone relay services. In short, IDEA and Section 504 protect students, while ADA includes students, employees, and prevents discrimination in the workforce. This is why our colleges and other institutions are required to accommodate students with disabilities not covered by IDEA or Section 504. This is why employers must provide accommodations at their workplace.